So today, we're kicking off a new year. It's cool, and that means a new theme. That means new scents to test from companies that we haven't really messed with. And all of that is happening today and for the next several weeks because this theme is huge and very near and dear to my heart, as well as one of the new Soapprentice's hearts. So I will tell you what that theme is and what we are kicking off all of the awesome things with in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 214 of 365 days of soap, and today we are starting an awesome new theme, and we are also starting new tests from a new-ish fragrance company. And I say new-ish because we have messed with them before. We have used 8 of their scents for 8 bars that were the Taylor Swift bars from year 1. But other than that, we haven't really messed with Wellington at all. And I really wanted to play with Wellington for this because they have a lot of really beautiful designer cologne and perfume dupes. And I wanted to sort of create each of the characters and center it around what they might wear, like cologne-wise, right? What are those characters, you ask? Well, if you were paying attention 4 or 5 weeks ago, you already know. It's Grey's Anatomy, which is a big, huge cast. Lots of people have entered Grey, Sloane, Mercy, West, Seattle. That hospital's had a lot of names. And so I whittled down that huge cast to 16 characters. And between the Soapprentice and I, we came up with designs for 8 soaps and 8 bath bombs. And then we're also going to be doing lotion bars, whipped sugar soap scrubs, and something else within this line to bring it all together for one great big awesome theme. But for now, we are focusing on the soaps and the bath bombs of Grey's Anatomy. And so for this one, we are doubling it up and we are making and talking about 2 characters while the Soapprentice is making bath bombs for them. So today we will be discussing Meredith Grey and George, who I love. I think he's great. Bambi. He's Bambi. Yes. So we are going to get to the video now. We're going to talk about Meredith and George and the scents and the design ideas. And also we might be talking about spoilers. So keep in mind, if you have not yet watched Grey's Anatomy is the type of show that moves quickly and the entire show's focus and your expectations can turn on a dime. Shonda Rhimes is beautiful for that. It's much like Game of Thrones. Don't assume that anyone is going to survive. And if you haven't seen Grey's Anatomy, I might be giving some spoilers in all of this. So if you haven't seen it, which is really crazy to me because it's been on the air forever, I recommend clicking off if you at some point decide that you might want to watch Grey's Anatomy in the future because there may be spoilers. You've been warned. Now let's get to the video. So I am so excited to start this new line, this new Grey's line, like for sure. But I am not excited to be starting it with Meredith. I mean, it makes sense that we should start it with Meredith because it's Grey's Anatomy. And her name is Meredith Grey. That's also the name of a book, a medical book, but it's spelled different, pretty sure. Can't look that up because my internet is currently down because we're installing a new thing and it's freaking awesome. Anyway, not the point. Meredith Grey is the point, and Meredith Grey annoys the shit out of me. And I understand that she's like the lead character. Like, I get that. But she's still annoying. And, we're going to talk about why. But first, we're going to talk about the Soapprentice and her design concept for the Meredith bath bomb. Now, first, the scent that I selected is Baccarat Rouge 540, which, according to Vogue, is, quote, a floral meets woody aroma that is subtly decadent and also smells powerfully sophisticated. Its unique notes of jasmine, ambergris, and cedar mesh so well that many call it one of the few truly universally flattering scents for men and women. And this scent is complicated and it is beautiful. Like, it is a delightful scent. You could put that in anything and anyone would put that on their body. I am not kidding. That is a winner. Hands down, absolute winner. Wellington knocked it out of the park with this one for sure. Now, for the Soapprentice's design, she wanted to go with a dark and twisty moment. Storms, water, a twisty sort of design, all of the things. And one of the reasons why she wanted to go with water is because, well, it's Seattle, so there's going to be a lot of water themes anyway. Like, Grey's Anatomy is based in Seattle. I guess maybe I should start, talking about this as if no one has ever heard of Grey's Anatomy. So, what Grey's Anatomy is a medical drama that is basically a soap opera that has been a long-running show on ABC for 1975 years. It's a long time. I think they're on season 17 or something right now. It's a big run. And in this medical drama, we follow the life of Meredith Grey and all of the people who are dumb enough to cross her path, because whoever crosses her path through no, intentional thing of her own, always tend to meet sticky, weird ends or circumstances. And the hospital that they work at, Seattle Grace, Mercy West, Gray, Sloan. I mean, the hospitals had a lot of names over the years. And all of the people that come in contact with Meredith and the hospital itself always ends up getting the craziest cases, the craziest medical mysteries, and the doctors themselves always end up in the stickiest situations wherein their literal lives seem to be in danger on the regular. Also, they have a lot of sex in break rooms, and it's weird, and there's a lot of, intermingling. You know that saying, don't shit where you work? It's a weird saying, admittedly, but the doctors at Seattle Grace, Mercy West, Gray Sloan, whatever it might be called today, they never got that memo. And so, yeah, it's medical mysteries, it's drama, it's sexy. All of the characters are absolutely beautiful. Like, they're all gorgeous human beings, And it all centers around this one person, Meredith Grey. And Meredith Grey is annoying. Not Ellen Pompeo. I like her as an actor, but the Meredith Grey character is just annoying. She bothers me with every interaction that she has with, fellow peoples. She's not good with peopling, which is fine. You don't have to be good with peopling, but she makes terrible, stupid decisions. She actively tries to, shut people out of her life. And when she does let people in her life, they die or lose limbs or, maybe that's why she does it. I don't know. I still dislike her. She's the least interesting character in all of Grey's Anatomy, and there are a crap ton of characters in Grey's Anatomy. And the series starts off with her as a first year, as a surgical intern, along with a crew of, I think Weber said in his opening thing, there are 30 of you, but at the end there'll be 9. I'm really making it up at this point, but it's something to that effect. But the people that you really follow during that first season is Meredith, Christina, George, Izzy, Karev, and I think that's it, though I may be missing someone. And then also Dr. Bailey, who is not an intern anymore, or she is an intern, but it's not, she's like a bigger intern, whatever. It's all thing. And their lives and how they cope with being surgeons on a surgical internship and all of the jazz. And they do come in contact with the most insane medical cases you've ever heard of in your life. And that's the thing that actually really got me hooked on the show, was just that. The most out of left field medical cases that they are trying to, solve or fix, or crazy surgeries and wild accidents and whatever. And it really impressed me that Shonda Rhimes and her staff spent so much time digging into the actual, legitimate medical stuff to create content for the show. And they did an excellent job with all of this. And it makes you want to go and look up whatever medical thing that they're focusing their episode on for the day. And they are all very delightfully broken individuals in their own right. Every single cast member has its own, their own breaking point and their own rough edges. And part of the whole point of the show is how you find your people. And Meredith Gray's real person is Christina Yang, who is delightful, and I can't wait to fangirl over her when it's time for her soap. But today's Meredith and George, but right now it's Meredith, and Meredith is annoying. She's just sort of there and kind of boring. Okay, now on to George, which is scented with Polo Sport from Wellington as well. It is a dupe of Polo Sport, and the Soapprentice has decided that she is going to make a Bambi patterned bath bomb with this, which I think is a great idea, because one of George's nicknames that he earned in season 1 was Bambi, which was given to him by Christina Yang, basically because he was always deer in the headlights, very green, very fresh, very naive, and it stuck, and he hated it, and then also just kind of grew to love it. He also had a very real crush on Meredith Grey in the first seasons, and we had to watch that non-drama unfold, because it's like, George, why would you bother? Literally move on to someone else. Meredith is lame and is completely obsessed with this neurosurgeon guy that she ultimately ends up marrying and having lots of babies with. Told you there were going to be spoilers. More to come. So George is an intern in the same class as Meredith and Christina and Izzy and Karev. And he, on the first day, he was selected by Burr. Is it Burr or is it Burke? I actually kind of deleted that guy from my memory, the heart surgeon, the amazing heart surgeon guy that Christina dated, because of the reason why he got kicked off the show. And that reason was called the actor in real life made some homophobic, statements. And so, screw that guy. Anyway, so he was selected on his first day to go and assist with an appendectomy. And he messed it up, as they all knew in the hospital was going to happen, right? And it gave George another nickname, and that name is 007, License to Kill, right? And so that's important for his future stories, because he went on for 5 seasons being a good doctor, and he had the elevator thing. He was the heart in the elevator guy, right? So all the power went out, and he was in the elevator with a patient who was on his way to surgery, being rushed to surgery because bullet hole or something in the heart. I forget what. Anyway, he and Karev are in the elevator with this patient, and the power goes out. Because again, this is Seattle Gray Mercy Death, and crazy things always happen. And Karev was in there, and he was always acting like he was this big shot or whatever. And George was kind of quiet and, just trying to learn his thing and trying to overcome the whole 007, name. And wonder of wonders, he was the one who performed surgery on a guy in an elevator when nobody was around except for Preston Burke, whatever, kind of talking to him through the crack in the elevator and telling him what to do. And he did so in the middle of a power outage in an elevator. It was a good time. So talented, very talented surgeon for sure. And a very viable and important part of the Grey's Anatomy cast, I always felt. And then season 5 happens, and this is a big spoiler. So if you haven't watched it, stop watching right now. But George gets hit by a freaking bus. Okay? He decides to join the army. So he was whatever. We already knew that his character was about to leave anyway, because he decided to join the army. And so that was his storyline. That was whatever. And then this guy comes in that had just been flattened by a bus because he was trying to save someone else from getting hit by a bus. And he's unrecognizable, right? He's unrecognizable. You cannot tell. He's like Hamburger. And they're doing all of these things at Seattle Grace, trying to keep this guy alive and do whatever. And they're having all these fights about what we should do with this John Doe, because he didn't have an ID on him, whatever. And then Meredith is in the room with him, and he starts drawing this person starts drawing on her hand 007 on the palm of her hand. And she immediately goes, "It's George." And then everybody knows at that point that, oh my God, it's George O'Malley and he's going to die. And all the surgeons do their thing, and because they were already trying to save him, obviously, but once they found out it was one of their own. And it's always one of their own, by the way, in Grey's Anatomy. They're always saving each other. It's wild. They kicked into hyperdrive, and they're going to, really make sure that he gets fixed and lives and whatever. And it doesn't happen. And that's how George exits the show. And I thought that was so sad. The saddest ending ever for just a really nice guy. And at that moment, I really, really realized that Shonda Rhimes and George R.R. Martin are cut from the same cloth. They give zero shits about your feelings and your favorite characters and how you think dramatic storytelling should go. They do it different. And this is the next day, and the Soapprentice is painting the spots on the bath bomb for Bambi. Also, by the way, the kids really loved, because they always get to test all the bath bombs, all the new bath bombs, right? Before we make, thousands of each of them. And the kids really loved this one. That beautiful brown color that she created does not at all look like poop water in the tub, which is great, because that's always the fear when you're making a brown bath bomb, right? But it actually blooms out very nicely into a really gorgeous copper color. So I love that for us. And I'm pretty sure she used Midwest Soapery's, I want to say Goomba for this. I think it might have been. And so it's absolutely beautiful. And I think her painting the little spots on this was the perfect finishing touch to make it look like Bambi, in his little rump where he has the little spots. Super cute. And George is Bambi. And also 007. And also, again, Shonda Rhimes does not care about your feels. Does not care about who you love as a character. She will... if T.R. Knight wanted to just leave the show, she could have just let him leave with, "I'm going to the army," right? But no. She destroyed him in really big, huge ways. And that was heartbreaking and very awful. But also, I held out hope for the next 12 seasons that it wasn't actually him. And Meredith got it wrong, right? He was drawing something else in her hand, not 007. And it wasn't George. And George has actually been in, the army for the last 12 years and has never bothered making contact with any of his friends or family. And he's still out there living somewhere. It's not the thing, though. It's not the case. Because season 17 happened. And I won't actually tell you about season 17 because that's a new season. And, you might not have watched that one yet. But it's not the case. He's not still alive somewhere. He's all gonzo. And it's sad. But he was great. And the Polo Sport in this is actually really good in a bath bomb. It's very bright and oceanic. It's a very, very good scent for a bath bomb for sure. Kind of invigorating. And I'm here for that. And the Soapprentice's designs on both of these bath bombs were absolutely perfect. Even though it's for one character that I super love and one that I really can do without. Let's look at the final touches of this. Okay, so final reveal and final thoughts. There's the Meredith bath bomb. Smells delightful. That Baccarat Rouge would work in literally anything. It is definitely a unisex scent for sure, and I think the design for these bombs, very perfect and dark and twisty, just like Meredith Grey is with the dark and twisty. She's definitely a don't mess with imperfection kind of person, though. And the Bambi bombs for George. And the Polo Sport, again, smells great in a bath bomb. I was surprised. I really was. It was a delight to work with. And both of these characters, again, I have a love-hate relationship with them in which I love one. And, well, I don't hate the other. But again, I can just kind of do without her. But that's how we're kicking off Grey's Anatomy, with Meredith and George in bath bomb form. And there they are, the Meredith and George bath bombs. And I think the Soapprentice did a wonderful job designing both of these, for sure. All of the swirly storm vibes that you get from Meredith's bomb, coupled with that Baccarat Rouge, absolutely delightful. And then George's, yeah, it's Polo Sport, but in a bath bomb, that actually smells amazing. And I love her touch of making it a brown bath bomb and painting little dots on it to look like Bambi, because that's what he is. So I thought that was absolutely beautiful. She did a great job. This is a really good theme, and I'm so excited that we are kicking it off in such epic style. So everybody here, make sure to drop a comment below and tell the Soapprentice how great of a job she's done, because she has done. And she would like to hear that from, someone other than me, really. So tell her she's awesome and that you love her bath bombs. If you're interested in seeing what else we do for the rest of the Grey's line, subscribe, all the things. If you have other ideas as to what Meredith and George should have been, for the theme or whatever, drop them below. Let's have a conversation. I love that. We should do that. That would be fun. We're all actually back at work right now. There's no more low-key content, and I am engaged, so I want to talk. So that would be excellent. Special thank you to my sudsers who have subscribed and done all the things. I really appreciate you guys oh so very much. I am out of here for today, but I will see all of you guys again tomorrow for another round of Grey's Anatomy themed soapy fun. Bye.